structuring. So as a TPM or a technical program manager, it's crucial to be flexible, embrace change, and quickly adapt to new technologies, methodologies, and organizational priorities, right? So what I want to give you guys today is not just feed you these buzzwords and sentences, and then you leave here without understanding. So I want you to relate to what I'm talking about by giving you some examples, right? So one example from my experience is when one of the companies that I worked for decided to transition from monolithic architecture to a traditional model of a software program of microservices, right? So for those of you that don't know the difference, it's just basically monolithic is built as a unified unit that is self-contained and independent of other applications, whereas microservices is, it allows a large application to be broken down into separated smaller services, independent parts, which each having its own realm of responsibility for the whole program itself. So this required shift from monolithic to microservices was a mind shift, right? A mindset shift. And as a TPM, I embraced the change. I knew that we were in trouble. I knew that it was highly costly whenever we needed to shut down the whole application in order to just, test a certain part of the application. So I facilitated this across the cross-functional collaboration. Several different teams were utilizing and building upon the software, and ensured a smooth transition by a point plan, resulting in improved scalability, reduced downtime, and increased customer satisfaction. So all of these are very crucial in order to make a product successful. So tying this back to the point that Nancy had said earlier, we work directly with the product managers to ensure that they understand how and when their product will be delivered, while they give us the overarching vision of how the product should work. So with that being said, there's several obstacles after they give us a PRD, right? And these obstacles are usually constraints. They come in the constraints and risk. And it's the TPM's job to alleviate any of those blockers and turn them from launch blocking to launch impacting, or even like no risk at all. Moving on to the second point here, increasing efficiency through streamlining. So efficiency plays a significant role in maximizing productivity and reducing costs, right? We talked about constraints earlier. Look for opportunities to streamline processes and eliminate unnecessary steps. That goes for product management as well, right? There's a lot of things that you interact with throughout the day and interact with a lot of different people that have different requests. Eliminate all those unnecessary steps. Identify areas where automation can be implemented to save time and resources. By optimizing workflows, you can deliver projects faster and contribute to the company's bottom line profitability. Now, that's the key word again, right? Nowadays, companies want to make money. So as an example, in a past project, the team was just chartered to work on a very large project, meaning like we just got together. It's a new project, brand new from scratch. The PM comes in, they don't know what we're building, and we're counting on them to let us know what we're building. So we embarked on the project pretty scrappily at that time. So because there's no processes in place, it's the TPM's job to actually alleviate this constraint. We also have a time constraint, but no processes in place. So what do? We knew that we were setting ourselves up for disaster if we didn't work faster to implement processes. So, there are several things that you need to put together. You need to put together a charter. You need to put together roles and responsibilities. You need to put together canonical docs and whatnot. Different companies call them different things. But all in all, it's basically to implement lightweight processes so that the devs can do what they do best, which is, programming and building the product. And so what happened was I identified the manual testing process was very time consuming and prone to several errors for all the code that was landed. By having engineers introduce an automated testing framework, I reduced the testing cycle time by 50% and significantly improved the product quality. This not only increased efficiency, but also positively impacted the bottom line again, quote unquote, by reducing rework and tech debt and customer support costs. Okay, eventually, because it all ends up, as in the hands of the user, and cost can be friction, cost can be, rework in terms of, and then also support. So that's what you call efficiency, being able to spot like places where you can save time, save money is very crucial to keeping your job. Next. All right. So the next thing I'll be talking about is proactive risk management, anticipating and addressing potential risks. So in today's uncertain economic climate, it's important to be proactive in identifying and mitigating risks, right? That's another huge portion of our job, is to understand dependencies. Dependencies usually equals risk. Changes equals risk. Constraints that are not tended to are also risks. So we have to stay informed about market trends, right? Set up cards in the morning, Google cards, where you've done a lot of surfing under the current market domain that you're working in, and then you get these cards every morning. You should read them, like understand the recessionary impacts that are potential right now and looming, and inflationary pressures, right? So we should always, as TPMs, develop contingency plans and risk mitigation strategies to ensure project success and minimize adverse effects on the organization, right? So what that means is staying up to date, understanding what's going on, understanding what other people are doing in the same field, so that you can anticipate like changes within your own realm. So proactive risk management is crucial, right? It's very crucial to any program or any product success. As an example, in a recent software development project, we anticipated potential delays due to dependencies on external APIs, quote unquote llama, or LLM that we're trying to use in what we're building. And to mitigate this, we developed a backup plan by identifying alternative APIs and integrating them into our system architecture. There aren't that many out there. So we're thinking, like, in the long run, what can we do if we don't have, external APIs for large language models, or what should we do? So we also started to develop our own dependent software. So eventually we would not need to be dependent on third-party software. In a situation like this, it's crucial to watch for market trends and check to see if you have the staff that have the appropriate skills and expertise, right? That's what a TPM does. You also have to make sure that the resources are correct and see if there's more, if it's more beneficial for you to, or your product to use third-party APIs or to build in-house. The proactive approach here is ensured a smooth development process and minimizing any impact of external factors that could affect your project timelines, or even your program or your product launch timelines. So you always have to constantly check with the market, check with third party, to make sure that you don't depend on them too much, but have that, strike that balance, and see if you can build in-house. Next. So building relations and communication.